So here we are, animal and nature assisted awakening, whatever that means to you. But do notice if you, in those words, separate yourself out. Animal and nature assisted awakening is so inclusive of each one of us, so inclusive that it excludes no one. And so inclusive that it creates a oneness out of multiplicity. So let's invite in all of nature, including and beginning with ourselves. A breath, on the breath, a welcome to yourself. And then that overflowing welcome extends out to all you can see here. And that all-inclusive welcome extends out to this herd of light who creatively birth these gatherings. Khalil, Yoshi, Taz and Teddy, Travis and an unseen horse being, no longer in horse form, Omar. And now we're going to call in specially those beings that we have known in fluffy, beautiful animal forms who have taught us about death and thereby have taught us about love and thereby have taught us about life. So let's silently call in all of these intimate friends who have left their form but are fully present here, hearing the call of our hearts, just like you heard the call to be here. All of those beloved equine beings, cats, dogs, birds, goats, cows, pigs, chicken, fish, trees, all the wildlife in its various forms that has dissolved and regenerated elements and soil and sky, rocks, space itself, the stars. The moon, the sun. Let's call in Mother Gaia. call in all of her children. The forest dwellers, the safari beings, the Arctic beings, the oceanic beings. The rainforest beings. Yes. Feel free to unmute yourself, Sonali, and call in this dog being. The presence of a dog being that has just come into your awareness. And anyone else who feels to unmute themselves and speak a name into the circle. Just feel free. It can be all at once, or it can be silently as well. And feel your part here, interbreathing with this sacred circle, whose center is in the center of centers of your heart. And we're going to take a breath together with a special frequency of awareness in this breath. Understanding that this breath is shared and that there's no way to tell where the breath that breathes through me ends and yours begins. Just feeling the power of this one flow of breath. And then feeling the intention of why you are here. Clear as a bell, placing it into the center of this circle. Like a sound frequency, the symphony of heart and soul intentions is singing out. I love using the chat that way. Thank you, beloved Rose, for bringing Avalon. That's a perfect way. Feel free to use the chat if anyone else feels to throughout the gathering. And let's ripple out this convergence, this offering, this gift on the breath. And let's hear when these ripples meet the receptivity of the whole. And hear the silent ripples of that receiving and breathing it in as a gift. So cultivating this organ of love, of listening, that hears the receiving as its own song and receives the gift. And in the receiving, gives back again and again, as one heart does. So, beloved friends, kindreds, nature, family. I also would like to invite in all human beings and the consciousness that's evolving in these human animals, which the gatherings have given us a word for. This evolving species of universon. So we call in this family of ever evolving humanity. Thank you, Khalil. He's breathing into the portal in the back of my head. And he is reminding us of this organ of perception in the back of the head. A pathway of receiving that we can open. So our listening happens now in a new way. Even though they are words, they are frequency carriers being carried straight through the back of the head or through the center into the empty space in the center of your forehead, or directly transmitted into the secret center of your heart, or like a quenching, a sipping of light through the straws at the soles of your feet. Just receiving now. On this topic, which is so beautiful, and we're so ready. The truth of what we call death. But we will soon discover that's not exactly how nature sees it. So from the heart of nature consciousness now, these words flow. Like 1,000-petaled lotus. Notice there are infinite ways to blossom. Like 1,000-petaled lotus, there are infinite ways to live. Like 1,000-petaled lotus, there are infinite ways to wilt. Like the 1,000-petaled lotus, there are infinite ways to kneel and kiss the ground. And what you call death, we know. What you call death, we know. As the ever expanding circles of love rippling out continuously. What you call death, we know as an infinite way of kneeling and kissing the ground. We feel the ripples of ever expanding circles of love rippling out from soul to soul, an extended blossoming of love, which never dies. we at the heart of the one heart of nature. We are here to show you how to truly live, which in turn directly, vibrationally informs you how to truly die. How to truly live and how to truly die are one in the same. How to truly love, how to truly live, and how to truly die, all one in the same. Once you have died before you die, which is to truly live, which is to truly love. To die before you die is to live without the creative mental habit of superimposing. To die before you die is to live without the creative mental habit of superimposing onto life or death or love. How you die informs your life, just as how you live informs your dying, which in truth is your birthing. Actually, there is simply one vast loop of frequency informing the infinite cycle of lifing and birthing as one. So let's just take a breath for a moment, remembering that the mind doesn't need to understand anything, that everything is completely felt. It's a hot summer day and I'm sweating. I'm surrounded by generators of heat. And so if the phone shuts off, I will be back on another device. So we'll just flow with it. But I do have to say that it's a synchronicity in the sense that the pathways of the phone are cooling down now that I have taken off the case. And this is a metaphor, I feel, for our minds. Allowing our minds to become porous. Otherwise, they might overheat. So let's take a moment to allow the mind, your mind, to breathe, to become porous. We are here to inform you by our frequency, which holds the key to unlocking all separation. We, all of nature, the heart of nature is here and now with you. With a frequency that unlocks the key, unlocks the door, hands the key to unlocking all separation, to unlock the separation of the infinite blossoming of love. We are here to entrain you, to entrain your hearts and minds and selves and whole beings back to true freedom. Freedom from the stuck mental loops of superimposing onto life. Freedom from superimposing onto love. There is much to unlearn. So just a breath now, free from superimposing onto this very moment. We are here to entrain your hearts and your minds and your cells and your whole beings back to true freedom. Freedom from the stuck mental loops of superimposing onto life. Freedom from superimposing onto love. Free from superimposing onto death. And there is much to unlearn here. So just a simple breath right here and now. Free from superimposing onto this very moment. So let's do this together. A breath of true freedom. Noticing the quality of how nature loves. How nature loves, free from superimposing. Nature loves you, free from superimposing anything onto you. And examining how you love. For how you love informs how you live and informs how you die. And by the way, love never dies. Notice how you superimpose the body form of your most precious ones being dissolved at some point, an unknown point in what you call time. Notice how you superimpose that moment of time onto every moment of life. Notice how you superimpose the dissolving of the body form of your most beloved one and the body form of your own being onto every moment of life. How this superimposing is always present subtly as a pressurized, unconscious nagging, further creating what you superimpose onto life itself. You superimpose the dissolving of our form, our death, onto us before we die, to try to prepare yourselves for the heartbreak. And this superimposing of death over life pollutes life, pollutes death, pollutes love. So to die before you die is to simply stop superimposing onto life. Is to stop superimposing onto death. As to stop superimposing onto love. So noticing, becoming aware of how we superimpose the heartbreak of the dissolving of our beloved ones' forms onto them and onto ourselves before that sacred moment even arrives. Noticing how that superimposes complexity onto how we love and onto how we live. And this is a message from a beloved border collie who was in her phase of dissolving her form, her creative phase, her unique, auspicious phase of dissolving her form. This is Mana's beloved Charlotte speaking to us directly. You never have to let go of love. You never have to say goodbye to love. This is what she told Mana. You never have to let go of love. You never have to say goodbye to love. The band of frequencies of love holds us together, and this is the only reality. Everything else passes away. But this love never dies. Experience everything, life, death, love, this one infinite loop. Just experience this directly through the organ of love, through this undying one heart of love we share. I know on a mental level, it can get confusing, but not for me. And train to the simplicity. Allow yourself to walk in this world as this love, without shutting down to it, as it. The secret is to love without superimposing onto others. Let's breathe in Charlotte's message, thanking her, her fluffy form, exuding love. As we open up to receiving her message, you never have to let go of love. You never have to say goodbye to love. The band of frequencies of love holds us together. And this is the only reality. Everything else passes, but this love never dies. Experiencing everything, life, death, love, this one infinite loop. Just experience this directly through the organ of love, through the undying one heart we share. Peggy. Doesn't want me to put the camera on. I know on a mental level, it can get confusing, but not for me. Just entrain to our simplicity. Just entrain to our simplicity. Allow yourself to walk in the world as this love without shutting down to it, as it. The secret is to love without superimposing anything onto anyone. From Yoshi. Oh, and before you understand more intimately how you superimpose onto others, you must notice how you superimpose who you think you are onto who you are. Thank you, Yoshi. Before we look at how we superimpose onto anyone else that appears as other, we first meet the way we superimpose who we and we call inseparable life. Which we call undying love. At that moment, there's a gift beyond measure given. But if you superimpose onto death before the moment, then you may miss receiving the gift. And we cannot speak to you of how vital it is for you to receive this gift. For your receiving this gift is a contagion setting all free. At the unspeakable, auspicious portal of a form dissolving, that which you call death and that which we call inseparable from living as undying love. At that moment, there's a gift beyond measure given. But if you superimpose onto death before the moment, the auspicious portal, then you may miss receiving the gift. And your receiving the gift is a contagion setting all free. And so we'll close now with this visualization that the water element brought. The wisdom of the water element as a still lake. So we see the still body of water, free from ripples, within. And we find there's a rock in our hand. And we find a momentum, a flow, moving our arm, swinging the arm and releasing the rock into the stillness of this body of water. And we behold an intimacy of clear, undistorted seeing of the perfection of the concentric circles rippling out from center. Simultaneously as the density drops deeper and deeper and deeper. Simultaneously, the density dropping into the stillness of the deeps unseen. The ripples continuing to ripple. Even beyond what we can see. Affecting all of life. And now imagining the contrast feeling of standing before or within the stillness of this body of water. Carefully choosing a stone, just the right one. Efforting your most striving momentum to throw that rock. And before it hits the water, superimposing the map of that magical rippling out onto the water. Notice what happens to the body of water before the rock ever meets the surface. And when the rock meets the surface, how to discern and to feel what is actually there. How to feel what is a superimposed ripple and how it affects what is creatively blossoming, organically, freely arising. So feeling visualizing, seeing the difference, the clarity of a true direct seeing, unfettered by superimposing upon. And feeling those ripples as love, undying. And as we absorb, digest, receive, and melt into this feast, Julia is going to play wordless sound frequencies for us to just breathe with, for our deepest integration. So we bathe together in a deeper settling, hearing the silent currents rippling out into the whole, hearing those silent ripples being received, and an infinite loop of undying love as a strong reality, regenerating. And it is a time in our gathering now where we begin to shift our attention from this attuning to allowing now words, whatever words you may want to share, to feel free to flow. And it is completely not necessary to do so. But we do want to open the space. If there is anyone whose heart wants to lend words to anything, their experience of this very bizarre, unique gathering, please feel free. And thank you for the quality of presence. It is treasured beyond words, treasured. So yes, feel free to share your voice if you feel to. And Julia, thank you. I so needed that. Thank you so much, Julia. Julia has been working with the levels of Mike, and now you've got it. It's just amazing. Perfection. Thank you, beloved. And here we are. No need to superimpose onto the silence. Let us close then in awe, in our own unique way, kneeling and kissing the ground in our own unique way, breathing, being breathed by life and by love. What a blessing to walk this earth together. Endless gratitude to the container of Mother Gaia and beyond. Endless gratitude to you all from the herd. Travis behind me. He's black and he's blending with the shadows, holding space, deeply rooted. May we stay deeply rooted too, beloveds, in this bandwidth of reality. Until we meet again, and in the spaces in between them. Thank you. Thank you, beloved. We'll continue our diving next week and in every moment. Love you. So much love. Wordless.